Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a tease. I am so teasy, aren't I? Welcome to the party, pal. Your friendly neighborhood Master Chaos here. Oh my God, episode 7, I believe. Yeah, sorry, I lose count. There's a lot of I'm doing a lot of these. Episode 7 of All the Clothes of the Dork. Today, our host Nathaniel Thompson has brought us two very interesting, unique films, very diametrically opposed, but sharing almost a common balls to the wallsiness, which we will discuss when we delve into them. Today, we're talking Amsterdamned. Been to Amsterdam. I'll share my stories. I don't have many, but I've been to Amsterdam. I was married at the time, so don't go expecting anything too crazy. And Raiders of Atlantis. I haven't been to Atlantis. I'm sure it's great. I'm going to bring in the panel after this.
Hail to the king, baby.
Hello, motherfucker.
Hello. Thank you for joining me. I hope everybody is well. Let me bring in the host, the man who picked these films. You know him, you love him. You've probably heard him multiple times in a commentary track, Mr. Nathaniel Thompson. How are you, sir?
Hey, good. How are you? So, is this lucky episode 7? I hope I didn't jinx you with these choices. I hope.
Yeah. Well, let's say that. Let's say lucky number 7. It definitely two very, very fun films. One was new to me, and one I was familiar with. But upon rewatch, I discovered a whole new level to it. So, thank you for allowing me to do the rewatch. So, and I'll say which is which when we get to them. Now, Amsterdamned and Raiders of Atlantis. Why did you pick these specifically?
Well, they both involve water. They're really fun films. Raiders of Atlantis, I specifically picked because it was directed by Rogério Deodato, who passed away very recently, and I was just in that kind of mood. I wanted to give him a little salute. And people normally think of him as that that crazy sadist who made Cannibal Holocaust and Jungle Holocaust and all that stuff. But he had a really fun kind of like crazy side as well. So I was torn. It was either going to be Raiders of Atlantis or Live Like a Cop, Die Like a Man, or Cut and Run. I mean, those are like his more like just batshit crazy fun drive-in type movies. But I opted for this one because it's not seen as much. It was out of circulation for a long time until Severin brought it back and inflicted it on all of our brains. So yeah, it seemed like I just had to go with this one. And Amsterdam I hadn't seen in quite a while, and we hadn't done anything from Holland. And I was like, you know what, we got to give them their due, because they put out some pretty wild movies. And I think this one it's kind of a genre mashup of a lot of different stuff that we'll talk about, and I won't say more than that.
Yeah, absolutely. Directed by a man named Dick Maas, which not just to say the name is very unique, but I had a film school teacher with that same name. Not the same guy, but there's at least 2 Dick Maases in the world. All right, let me bring in another stalwart of the panel. You know her, you love her. She is a scream queen, and she kicks ass in pretty much everything she does. Tina Kraus, how are you?
Hi guys, how are you? I'm the technical difficulty all the time. How are you?
That, you know what? It's fine. Nothing wrong with that. You bring that unicorn energy that we need.
That might be it.
Happy to have you here. Yeah,
happy to be here. We're going to be talking about these films that you picked. Very interesting selection, I have to say.
Yeah, for sure. A new member to the panel, but an old friend of mine. This guy's directed Elves, and yes, that Elves, the long lost Christmas horror classic. Oh my God, Mr. Jeff Mandel, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you very much. It's always good to see you, Tina.
Hi.
I enjoyed both movies. One of them, I enjoyed it more after seeing the other one, but we'll get to it.
Okay.
Fantastic. Now I've got 2 new members of the panel. One is a new friend. One is an old friend. I'm going to start. Well, I'm going to leave the new one for last, because she's actually coming to us from across the pond. She could literally visit these places. Well, maybe not Atlantis, but she could go to Amsterdam, and it'd be like a bus ride. I don't know. But anyway, here's just an old pal to the channel. I've had him on a couple times. He's never been on a review panel before. I love this guy. And luckily, we both enjoyed Scream 6. Killjoy Jake, what's up, man?
Yo, yo, yo. What's up, Master Chaos and friends? How's it going?
We're good, dude. Off topic, but just real briefly, because we had a stream on your channel discussing, our hopes and dreams for 6, like literally days before it came out, and I think we've only briefly talked about it, but we're both pretty happy with 6, right? It's definitely an improvement over 5.
Yes. Oh yeah. I'm so happy with. I'm still geeking out about it. It's almost like a week later, and I'm still just losing my mind a little bit. So it was a blast, man. I had a really good time. I'm glad you enjoyed it too.
I did, and I kind of just maybe set myself up like I'm gonna enjoy it unless they do certain things, and luckily they didn't do those certain things. But well, I don't want to give any spoilers. We'll talk off air. But I'm curious about the ending because I know there was something about the ending that you talked a while back that if they did that you wouldn't like it. But I'm curious if that.
We'll talk about. I got a weird take on it, I guess, but I don't know. I enjoyed it though.
Okay,
overall.
right. No spoilers. We won't give anything away here. Promise.
Right.
Last but not least, a new friend and a YouTuber who is crawling up the charts. So make sure you go subscribe to. And by the way, her username is probably the longest username I've ever seen on YouTube. Everybody, it's Skyla Loves Movies, Vlogs, and Travel.
How is everybody doing tonight? I am the only one here just from across the pond. I know that's and I love foreign movies, and I'm excited for your guys' inputs, especially on Amsterdam because it's one of my favorites.
Oh, cool.
So wouldn't foreign horror for you be like Scream 6? I mean, wouldn't that count technically as a foreign horror for you? It would be our movies, but
I guess so.
I know what you mean. And happy to have you here, Skyla. I'm very curious to hear you gush about Amsterdamned. Before we do panel reviews, let me just check in with the chat real quick. Fed78 in the house. Let the raid begin. All the Amsterdamned. I'll be? Or okay. I don't know if you meant I'll be, but I'll read it as all be Amsterdam. Mike Baird, long time since I've watched Amsterdam. Remember liking it. Zach, my DP in the house. What is up, Zach? Still no updates, dude, but I will get back to you. Well, by the way, Zach, we may be shooting something in Puerto Rico at the end of the year. I'll text you about that real soon. That just popped up. Anyway, I digress. Nathaniel, take it away. Where are we starting with, and in which direction do you want to
go? Let's start with Amsterdam. Why not? Let's go alphabetical here, and I think we're going to go clockwise from my direction, so I'll throw it to Tina. Do you want me to start and talk about it a little bit, though?
Yeah, why don't you give us a little break us in Nathaniel style.
So Amsterdam is an 80s Dutch thriller from, as you said, Dick Maas, not Peter Maas. Before that, he directed the world's greatest killer elevator movie called The Lift, which if you haven't seen that is also bonkers. This one is kind of a really twisted giallo take on a tour guide to Amsterdam. There's a guy in a wetsuit prowling around with a spear gun, killing people around the canals, and it's up to this single dad cop played by Hoob Staple, who also went on to star in the crazy Santa Claus horror movie Saint. He's trying to track this guy down, but it's very, very sort of it kind of plays like a giallo for a lot of the running time, but then it turns into this action movie with this just bonkers boat chase. Goes on for like 20 minutes, and I don't know how they pulled it off without killing like 50 people, like Amsterdam residents, how they got the clearances to do this thing, but it is just absolutely out of its mind. So it basically turns into like Live and Let Die for about 20 minutes, and it just goes on. It's really wild stuff. But yeah, so I first discovered this one back when Vestron got this one back in the late 80s, and what was annoying was if you rented the VHS tape, you could only get it dubbed. And if you got the Laserdisc, it was subtitled, which was really obnoxious. I don't know why they did that. But anyway, whichever you like, dubbing, subtitle, whatever, you had your choice. But you had to be really careful because they didn't really label it on the packaging. But I saw it both ways, and I just really had a blast with this one. But it'd been a long time, and I just thought I should bring this one back up because it doesn't get talked about enough. And like I said, Holland horror / action / pseudo giallo cinema is underappreciated. So I'm curious to hear what you all thought. So, Tina.
All right. Okay, so I gotta say, I wasn't expecting much. I wasn't sure what to expect, to be honest with you. All right, I actually like the opening credits. To be frank with you, I'm watching it and people don't pay attention to that. I know, but I do, and I'm just like, oh, that's interesting. I'm like, huh, all right, I'll give it a minute. And I thought I was gonna turn it off. I was like, oh god, am I gonna watch another one of these? Because it started off like that, and I'm like, no, I'm like, please don't do this to me again. But then it started getting interesting, and yes, that boat chase. What in holy hell? How did that even happen? I thought he was gonna kill somebody, like for real. I was like, oh my god. I'm like, we don't even have fucking boat chases like that. I'm like, that's brilliant. And then it was shot real nicely too. That's another thing. You know, and especially in the 80s, like, you can take a chance with certain things. Okay. But in those particular shots, there were some really nice shots. It was well lit, like very well lit. I had a little fun with the little twist. I won't give anything away, but the little twist over there, which I did. You see that later on. But I am gonna say one thing, and this is terrible. Okay, but it made me laugh. It made me laugh. It's when the cop is like he's running up he's climbing up, I guess, the sewer drain or whatever to go and get him, and he turns around and shoots him in the face. I'm sorry. I didn't expect that. I spit my drink out. I was like, Jesus Christ, what the hell just happened? There was a humor moment in there. And can I ask one tiny thing? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. The guy who I guess plays the villain, right? When he's driving, there's a part when he's like driving the boat at night, and you can see him, and it's actually what's on the cover. And he just looks like a fanatic when he's coming through, right? Is that really him? Is he really nuts? I was like, now I'm just thinking, he's got special effects makeup on. He's in a suit, okay? And I'm like, and I'm thinking in the 80s, because they figured that shit out later on. Like, okay, let's not blow the shit on and, let's go. But I'm thinking it's the 80s. So I doubt they figured that out, right? And had him running around in a suit, like covered up, dying. Just in case we got to take it off, you need to be in makeup. Like, I'm just thinking, I'm like, oh my God. Right? The whole time. I'm like, all right. But outside of that, it was quite entertaining. It did start slow and then go like, it just started into this crazy chase. So yes, I did like it. I really did like it. We enjoyed it.
All right.
So, me up.
Jeff?
I've written down a lot of comments, but we have extra guests, so I'll just keep it short. I really like this movie. It was made really well, and Dick Maas, he did the music score, and the first thing I noticed was how much humor is in the film. You see the bubbles going, and you hear da 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 da, the Jaws theme, and there were all kinds of jokes. The prostitute in the very beginning, and I saw the dub version, and the three lead actors dubbed their own English tracks, and the dubbing was just really superb. There he is. There's somebody crashing through the roof of a scenic tour. Did they have to pay extra? I don't know. One thing we have to remember, MC, is when we're making movies, canals are always creepy. And I always feel sorry for the stuntmen that have to go in them. Hong Kong Harbor, the canals in Venice. I just don't know what they came up with, but all kinds of gags. The prostitute saying to the guy, "Well, okay, we're not going Dutch." I don't know if that means something else in Dutch. There were all kinds of things like that. Oh, the cops say to the girl before she's killed, posing as the Salvation Army, I don't know what, and they say, "Keep your eye on the sparrow." And just let's take a moment and remember Beretta, and say a little prayer for Robert Blake, who we lost this last week.
We didn't.
We didn't.
According to the
Beretta,
they forgot about it.
They forgot about him, but his Beretta will be with us forever. Keep your eye on this. It was just a great dubbing job. It was very well made, great music score done by the director, and we have a lot of Dutch words in English. Cookie, boss. We owe the Dutch a lot. I wonder what it was good performances, and I won't give anything away. It was already given away, but I enjoy a film where the bad guy has something wrong with his face. The evil master. It was a good film, very entertaining.
All right.
Heck yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Jake?
Dude, I loved this movie. I was so happy when I was having a blast the whole time. I love movies that are fun, especially when they're slashers. And even though this one's it's like hour 45 or whatever, goes on maybe a little longer than that. I don't know. I was never at one point feeling like a drag. I never was like, man, I'm like, okay, this scene needs to speed up. No, it was really well paced, which is that's a huge plus in my book, especially with slashers that sometimes like the drag in the middle, for me at least. But I had a really good time with this. The boat chase is insane. I went into this with no knowledge prior, and I was just like, what is going on? This is so good. It reminded me of They Live, where they just keep punching each other for 20 minutes. I'm like, this is odd, but obviously a little more impressive. It was, I don't know. I loved the boat chase. I loved some of the wacky kills. And yeah, the killer reveal's pretty cool too. I don't know if we're doing spoilers yet, so I won't get into that, but I really loved the yet. Right, not yet. Gotcha. I love the idea of a diver killer. It's very Amsterdam themed. The opening kill being, like you said, a prostitute, I feel like really works with the theme and all that. And that scene you just put up on screen where she's hanging over the bridge or whatever, and it all the kids are screaming. Dude, that's so wild, man. I don't know. I guess it doesn't take much to impress me, but a bunch of kids terrified of a dead body, that'll do it. Immediately off the bat, I was like, I'm sold, love this movie. And then the boat chase was even crazier. The reveal's really fun. The cop drama at the core is cool. And this is very similar to Scream 6 in a very weird way. I know, a bit of a fetch, right? But the daughter's name is Anika, just like in the movie. Lots of little very city themed slasher, I was like, this is a perfect pairing with that movie. I got to do a double feature of these two at some point, but man, I had a blast with this movie. I am so glad y'all recommended this.
Amazing. That's great.
An exciting romp through the canals. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I just want to say, first of all, thank you all very much for inviting me on. And
Of
for
course.
me, I absolutely adore this movie, because I was recommended by one of my longest friends who lives in Liverpool, and he said, you've got to watch Amsterdamned, and I was like, oh no, is it one of those cringy ones? And he's like, no, it's really good, just watch it. And I was like, the first time I watched it, I was literally blown away. It was just everything about it. And then when I read the documentary, they weren't allowed to actually film in the red light district. They had to film a few streets over, but it was a red light district in Amsterdam, if that makes sense. That's what I read up on. So, well, that's what I saw. Read the documentary.
Is there a documentary? I'd love to see it.
I have the Shameless release, and it's on that. It's all that, yeah. So, all I'll say is I just love everything about the movie, especially the whole backstory about the killer itself, and how he got his face and that. We won't spoil that. We won't spoil that just yet. But it's just the whole kills and how the people at first who he chooses to kill. It's it seems a bit like logical, but unlogical at the same time. That's what I get from the movie at first. But every time I watch it, I always see something new. But that boat scene is one of my favourites. And then at the end, the ending as well. One of the best endings I've ever seen in a horror / thriller foreign film sort of film. But that's all I'm just gonna say so far. So I'm gonna give it to Master Chaos because I know he's got a lot to say about this.
Well, I don't know that I have a lot to say, but very good. First of all, I'm drinking Fireball and Red Bull, so I apologize if I go off the rails halfway through this. But my shoulder hurts, and so I figured, what would be better than medicine? Whiskey. Anyway,
that's medicine in many.
Yeah, exactly. So a little cinnamon doesn't hurt. That's good for muscles.
Oh,
right?
great! Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So I've been to Amsterdam. Me and my wife took a trip there, and we literally spent 30 minutes walking through the red light district. We're like, okay, let's get out of here. This is really creepy feeling. and so we stayed on the outskirts. They love French fries, so they have like we love frozen yogurt here in California. They love French fries. There's like tons of stores that are just French fries. I'm like, what the hell is with the French fries? They love French fries. So I was like, well, let's fucking get some French fries. So we went and got some French fries and some sauce, and that was fun. There's like 6 museums. We did about 3 of them. There's a dungeon museum that was really awesome. I still have the magnet on my fridge. So I have some fun memories about Amsterdam. I didn't chase down any scuba diving killers. But I got to experience the city, and I might be wrong. Is that the house? Is that the place? No, is it Amsterdam? Or maybe I'm thinking of another place. But we went to see. Now I'm blanking on her name. Famous
Anne Frank.
Anne Frank. Is that
Yeah.
Is that where the Anne Frank? Okay.
Yep.
So I went there. I went to Anne Frank's little alcove, and that was pretty amazing. So those are my memories of Amsterdam. But I've heard of this movie. I think Blue Underground put it out, and I've always had it in my cart during a sale. I'm like, oh, should I pick it up? I don't know. I never bit the bullet and grabbed it. So when you suggested, I'm like, okay, finally a reason to watch it. I think I'm gonna douse the flames a little bit on this movie because I love the beginning and the ending, but the middle it feels really flabby. It's almost like. Because I like all the little ins and outs of what's happening in the plot. I'm sure you guys all do too. But I pay attention to it. What is actually happening in this scene? What is being achieved here? Because that's the goal. When you're screenwriting, you have to make sure that every scene does something. This movie has such a flabby middle where not even the characters know what they're going to do next. They're just waiting for the next kill. And it drags. That's the main problem I have with the movie. It's way too long and the middle drags for me. But then that boat chase happens. You're like, oh, fuck yeah. What the hell's going on? Yes. Okay. And then it just keeps going and going. You're like, holy crap. This is amazing. So I feel like that maybe that was a conscious decision where they're like, oh, shit, we got to bring people back in. We need to make this long and insane. I don't know. But Boat Chase, absolutely agree with everybody, is a phenomenal movie. We'll talk about spoilers towards the end. The ending, I don't know. Maybe I missed something, but I was so confused when the killer was revealed. I was like, who? Who is that? Like, what's happened? I'm sorry. Did I miss? I don't remember that character ever.
You just saw his bubbles.
Oh, no, well, I mean, like, when it's revealed and you see, well, we'll get to it. I was like, I don't know who that is. So to me, I was more confused and like, we got him. I knew it was that guy, I don't know. It threw me for a loop. And maybe that whole middle just kind of bored me a little bit. And I just wasn't really paying attention to any of the connections happening. But I love the main guy. I think the main guy's a really strong lead. The boat chase, like we said, is solid as hell. But that middle is so bland for me that it drags the movie down. Doesn't kill it necessarily, but for me, I felt like it needed a little more juice. What's the middle part of a train? Not the caboose. That's whatever the middle part of the train is. And hopefully it rhymes with juice because I can't use caboose. But OGP in the chat. What is up, OGP? An epic panel indeed. Thanks for hanging in, buddy. Heroic Waffles, hello to you. All right, those are my opening thoughts. Great boat chase, soggy middle. Nathaniel.
I also want to give a shout. I don't know if you watched the entire movie all the way to the end, but I want to give a shout out to that completely nutso theme song that comes up at the very end.
Oh,
Oh my God, what is with that?
it seemed to be in English too.
Yeah,
I don't
it's in
know.
English.
Yeah.
Although it's
Yeah,
that
they
was a
really-
good song.
They really wanted to like have a pop song. There's also a music video on the Blu-ray if you have it.
Oh,
Yeah, it's something else. Yeah, so it's good to know going into this movie that it's actually not really a whodunit. This is kind of like I Know You Did Last Summer does that thing where at the end they're like, "Oh, the killer is this guy," and you're like, "Who? What? Like that's not a suspect." It's some another one is there's a French slasher movie called Knife Plus Heart that came out a few years ago. They do the same thing where the killer's like it's not a you think you're watching whodunit, but it's actually something else. It's not.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that is probably a little something I should tell you on the synopsis because otherwise you watch it and you're like, "Oh, is there a suspect I should be watching?" And you're like, "No, doesn't matter. Makes no difference." But I think it's a cool reveal because it actually turns out to be kind of a monster movie at the end in a way.
yeah, that's what I said. Good
Yeah.
deformed face.
So yeah, I personally don't mind the pacing, but again, I also love Jolly and those things move like a turtle with a broken leg sometimes, but I don't really mind. So I'm just kind of used to that, so I'm probably kind of jaded. But yeah, I think this movie's just a blast. I've always had a soft spot, and I love watching it again. And again, I think the comedy works really well. Like I think especially the romantic banter and stuff. Sometimes that can be annoying, but here it actually works. It's really good natured. It's kind of a good balance. And like I said, I think the boat chase comes at just the right moment because you think it's just kind of trained as sort of procedural kind of thing, and then suddenly the movie just takes that hard left turn. And you're just like, "Whoa, what happened? Where are we going?" But yeah, it's just fun. Are we doing final scores yet, or are we going to do that in the next? Round?
Yeah, mine as well. Mine as well. Since you're going to kick off round 2.
Okay, so it's a 4 out of 5 for me.
4 out of 5. Nice. Something I forgot to mention. I did love this kill. This was a phenomenal, beautiful way to begin the movie. Holy crap! So just incredibly. And I took one of those little boat rides, so I have fond memories of having a little. Wow, this water's really dirty.
You should explain
yeah.
the whole scene.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
the prostitute gets killed, and why don't you do this, Daniel?
She's hanging upside down, bloody from the bridge as the
Right.
glass-topped boat is approaching. It's just such a great anticipation and everything. I thought, anyway.
Yeah,
Phenomenal.
except for she gets dragged all the way down the top.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
the blood streak
going a
on
little
the-
extra.
That's awesome.
I should also
I
add
love
I've been to Amsterdam as well, but I was only like around 12 or 13 at the time, so I didn't really get to have that much fun. I didn't get to go anywhere near the red light district because my parents were responsible. So
Right. Yeah.
I'll take
No
your word
sex
for that.
museums with mom and dad. Okay. 4 out of 5. Tina.
I'm gonna give it a 3. Like I said, I liked it, but there were some things that I kind of was like, all right, this, it did get slow at a certain point. However, the kill scenes are great. That's lovely. Thank you. Between this, that, what you want to show another kill scene? Why don't we show another kill scene?
I don't think they have another one. I just grabbed a couple random stuff from
Yeah,
Google.
somebody got shot.
That's pretty much it.
Things like that. Whatchamacallit? Yeah, I'm gonna say 3. I mean, that boat scene's incredible. So the first kill's really great. I love that. Well, of course I would like that. Look at the one I picked as a fucking movie that I asked you guys to see in the first 5 minutes. Everybody's in half. So, of course I'm gonna like something gory. But yeah, I'd say a 3. There is some beautiful cinematography in there. I'm not gonna lie. It was well shot. The only thing I had problem with it is it's a little slow, and I don't like that beginning. Well, we already discussed this. I don't like that beginning slowness. That's like, oh my god. I'm like, come on, man. But after the boat scene, it picks up and it's pretty cool. And I will say yes that the kill scenes are pretty awesome. So there you go. Number 3.
When the killer was revealed, were you like, oh my god, I can't believe it. It was Pizza Face.
Well, no, because
Pizza
I
face.
knew it.
when he first gets revealed, I was like, But then it's in the photograph. It's in the photographs. Like when he kind of like shows the photographs, you notice that it's like that other guy's friend, and I'm not gonna. All right. Keep
Well,
going.
we can
If you saw
I'm like, just keep going before I try to explain this and tell everything. Okay,
it's
we're
fine.
good. Great.
if you saw his if you saw his face earlier in the film, it would sort of, you would say, I bet it's that guy. You know,
Yeah.
The best meet cute banter in the film in English was he's offered a drink by the woman, and she says, "Aren't you on duty?" And he says, "I'm not very dutiful." I thought that was good. I don't know what it is in Dutch, but it works in English. Yeah, I think the bloody body hanging and then dragging over the top of that was a high point for me. It was a very pleasant film. To be honest, I understand. Oh, there she is, and the two of them did their own English dubbing, and the dubbing was very good. It was a very well made film, regardless of when it was made. It was a nice made film, and it was pleasant to watch. I had a very pleasant time. If I was looking for banter and stuff, I probably would just spend the day on whatever it is, Lifetime or whatever channel, and watch NCIS. But you can't get things like the boat chase, which you have to think with the canals. That's a pretty obvious move too. I like the director wrote the score, and I like the body hanging. How could he have been hit in the head if he's just got the okay deformed face? I think he was hit in the mask or something. And then when she looks at it and the glass falls out, that's a good moment. Skylar, I'm kind of interested. I didn't understand, except for the cops. I don't understand the logic to the kills. I didn't get that. You said there was something that was logical about it. I thought that the kills were kind of random. Am I wrong? Can we jump over and talk to Skylar and get an answer?
Skyla, but yes.
Skylar, sorry. Skylar.
Right. What I meant by is like it just had like, first of all, like it was the prostitute, and then it was like somebody, but it all had like a theme where they were all like deceptive in some sort of way. So like, cause one of them was like a prostitute, and then the Salvation Army woman was stealing the money. So that's what I was sort of like getting. There was like a bit of a logic, but then when you go towards the other kills, it goes in like a completely different way. If that makes sense, that's what I was trying to.
I understand that, but I still think it seemed pretty random. But except when he's going after people that are threatening him directly, unless he's got this Judeo-Christian sense of, against prostitutes and thieves, and I don't know what. Okay, I understand what you're saying. No, it's a very pleasant film, and I give it a 3.
Very pleasant film. That's going to be on the box.
No, even when it got slow, I was enjoying watching The Craft. It was good, but like I said, I could watch NCIS for the same kind of thrills, almost.
Right. Okay. I guess Jake.
Yeah, I had fun with this one. Like I said, I feel like even in some of the, like you said, the flabbier scenes, I like the way you worded that. I was still enjoying just like the dialogue, what was going on with some of the characters. It was enough to keep me invested. So I really enjoyed this one. If I could do a half a star, I would do 3.5, but I'm gonna commit to the 3. I think 3 out of 5, but I want it to be a 3.5 out of 5. How does that sound?
You can make it a half. I don't use halves, but you can feel free. If it's 3.5, that's what you feel like. That's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, but if MC doesn't do it, maybe we shouldn't. I'm just saying.
No.
Listen, you rule with an iron fist here. I'll commit to the 3 out of 5. No, I'm totally kidding. I'm so messing with you. But I still really enjoyed this one. Like the acting's a bit odd at times. It's a slasher. You know what I mean? It's a goofy. It's fun. I'm having a blast. That's all that matters. I truly don't think they would attempt to do something like that boat chase today either. Like that was insanely dangerous, and I loved every second of it. Like it was awesome. I don't know. I wish we got more weird, random things like that in movies nowadays. I feel like it's always just like it's CGI fights now. You know, that's the big thing. Let's do CGI cannons and all that. Why don't we just do a simple practical boat chase? Why don't we get enough of those? You know, let's Lucio Fulci's zombie. I mean, you get a guy underwater in a zombie costume and he's fighting a real shark. Like they wouldn't do that today. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love these foreign movies that do like these crazy, wacky, weird things like this. It's just always such a high point for me. I was so invested at that point onward. I don't know. I just had a really good time with this movie. Nathaniel, right? Dude, thank you for recommending this. Like it's got to go on my shelf. Like I got to buy this one at some point. I don't know. Had a great time with it. Really good job.
Yay.
I just wanted to ask Skyla again. Do you know if they had permits to shoot the boat chase? Sometimes it seemed like they didn't. Really?
I don't know if they
Some of
did
those
or
guys were surprised. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's all right. I don't know if they did or not, but I know they didn't have permission to shoot in the actual red light district, so they have to film it down the road. But
Well, I wonder about the canals. You know, they're disgusting.
I think they might have got I don't know.
I mean, there's no way you could shoot those scenes, but you know you can't guerrilla the shit out of that. There's no way. I mean, you'd get arrested within like a half hour, and then you can't just come back on another day and film different pieces of it. There's no way they're not gonna put that in the special features, unless they didn't have permission. Then they would mention it, but
Yeah, that's right.
if,
That's
we
right.
got away with it.
Hey,
So Jake, 3.5, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Good. I'll remember that you used the half. I'll remember that. I'll never forgive you.
Try to
I told
avoid
you,
that.
I warned you.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Jake can make his own decision. That's cool. Perfectly fine.
That's what you're saying, but it doesn't sound like that's what you mean.
Jake. Anyway,
Skylar.
Skyla. Okay, what do you got? What's your final thoughts and ratings?
First of all, I'm not going to use a half on mine, so
Oh, so you're way better than me. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right.
oh man, where do I just start? Like every time because I've seen this film about 7 times, and every time I watch it, I see something that's better and better and better about it. Yeah, I agree with Master Chaos. It does get a bit slow in the middle, but the beginning and the end, it's just so action packed that you just don't know where your head's going to turn, especially with the boat scene. When they're going around all them bends, and then especially when the killer goes up the ramp and then goes over the bridge and lands on the side of the water, you're like, did he just really make that shoot? Like, we all do know it's like the stuntmen that's done that, but you're like, did they really do that? But like, even the ending, when we found out that it was actually the friends, and it was just, but what I liked about it, but it was just a little bit too late for me on that bit where they told a little bit of the backstory. They should have mentioned it a little bit, like at the end of the middle, not towards the end, if that makes sense. But obviously, the score, Dick Mass's score, it's not my favourite, but it's a good score, none or less. But I love the ending. I just have, if I've got like a guilty pleasure and I just need to sing a song, that's the song I'll sing. So for that, I'm gonna rate it a 4 out of 5. I can't do a 5 because only because of the middle bit. It's not perfect, but a 4's floating.
I mean, Jesus, you watched it 7 times. That's that. I mean, the movie's got to have a little something. If you watch it that many times, that's pretty good.
Yep.
A 4. All right. Well, fantastic. All right. First off, apparently it's morning for Daniel. Good morning, Daniel. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're well.
It's Australia, New Zealand.
But yeah, possibly, yeah. All right, Amsterdamned. Overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I'm glad I finally watched it. I may actually pick up the Blu-ray at the next Blue Underground sale, whenever that happens. There's enough here to like, beyond the fact that the middle gets a little soggy with almost a directionless path for everybody. We're like, whoa, what are we doing? Oh, I guess we're just gonna hang out, wait till he kills again. The one thing that kind of ruins the boat chase scene is whenever they cut to the scuba guy, he looks so stupid that like every time he's like, woo, he's got the mask on. I was like, oh man, like this could have been cool, but he looks like so goofy in the mask. It looks great when he's like hunting the people underwater. Like, okay, good, that works. But when he's driving in, I don't know, there's something a little bit of the magic is lost. But at least we get the action, and I mean, it is difficult to do a scene like that, a boat chase scene. I mean, it's hard enough to film a car chase. A boat chase? Oh my god! All right, take two. We gotta turn the boats around. Okay, hold on. This is a 6-hour reset, guys. We gotta get the boats. You know. Okay, we gotta get to the harbor. Okay, hold on. We gotta let the tour boats go by. Oh my! I can't even imagine the headache of filming this sequence. So that alone is impressive. But I think the movie falls apart for me a little bit in the middle, and then at the end, when the reveal felt a little underwhelming, because I'm like, wait a minute, I feel like that, like Nathaniel was saying, it's not necessarily a whodunit, but I feel like it was trying to go that route with like that guy that the girl was like friends with, and like, oh, he's got the same spear gun or something. I forget all the connections, but it felt like it was gonna lean in that direction, and then it doesn't, and I don't know, it pulled the rug out from under me, and I think that's an interesting move. The movie kept losing my interest, and I think that took the steam out of it for me ultimately. So I'm gonna pretty much agree with most of you. 3 stars for Amsterdam. It's still a really fun movie. I'm glad I watched it, but there's a couple elements that didn't 100% blow me away. And maybe when I watch it 7 times, like Skyla, I won't have those issues. Nathaniel, how many times have you seen this movie?
3, I believe.
Okay.
So yeah, she's way ahead of me. I haven't gotten close to 7 yet.
We gotta catch up. All right, so that's Amsterdam. The 3 for me. Next up is probably the craziest movie we've talked about on here, I think. Nathaniel, introduce us to Raiders of Atlantis.
Well, speaking of working without permits, Ruggiero Deodato was notorious for never getting permits for anything. If you've ever seen his film Live Like a Cop, Die Like a Man, it opens up with this like 10-minute motorcycle chase through Rome that was done with no clearances. You can literally see them almost kill about 10 different pedestrians in that movie at the beginning. I guess he thought if William Friedkin didn't need a French connection, he didn't either, so he never did it. So, but this is one of those Italian films that was shot in, like, for some reason, like in the late 70s and throughout the 80s, the Italians shot a lot of movies in either Florida or Georgia. And this is one of the Florida ones. And again, they didn't need permits. They could basically do whatever they wanted to because locals didn't give a crap. They're like, yeah, whatever, blow crap up. You can have aliens running around, shooting lasers, keep your heads flying off, whatever. Don't care. And I guess he took them at their word, and he just went way over the top with this one. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like about these 2 Vietnam vet buddies who are like mercenaries, and it's like an action film, and then it's sci-fi, and it's some gore, and then it's fantasy, and I don't know what substances were on the sets in Italy at the time, but it's just kind of like You're the Hunter from the Future, where it's just like they're writing a script and it's like, okay, now what? Whatever. And it's like, what it's going to do. Every 10 minutes, you're just like, where is this heading? I have no idea. But it's so much fun. If you've ever seen the trailer, it has one of the greatest trailers ever made. Like, why this wasn't the top grossing film the year it came out, I have no idea. Because it is everything you can want in a movie. I mean, again, it's like lasers, it's decapitations, it's bikers, it's everything. It's just absolutely nuts. But again, I love Deodato when he's in this mode, when he's just in like party time mood. And he really this is one of his very best as far as like just bad shit bonkers, have fun with the camera and do whatever you want. Yeah, that's Raiders of Atlantis for me. So I really want to hear what you all thought about this one. So Gina.
Oh my God. I was like, what am I watching? I'm watching. Okay. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Oh my God, it's Indiana Jones. No, it's Barbarella. No, it's not. It's Escape from New York. What the fuck is this? I was like, holy shit. It's a fun film. It's definitely got some scenes in it. Wow.
It sure has some
Yes,
scenes.
it's a roller coaster. Yeah. It's a roller coaster. I don't know. Do I want to give this away? Right? I don't
Wait
even know
for the
if
next
you
one.
can. Can you? Can you give
Not-
this away? You can't really give this away.
It's
Not
a
really.
spoiler-proof movie.
It's
Yeah, you
kind
can't spoil
of
this one.
out there. It's really out there. All right, so I'm sitting there and I'm like, and dude, what the fuck is up with Atlantis? Yeah, here we go. This is another scene, right? I was like, was this a spaceship coming out of the water? Like, what the fuck is going on? Right? It's like, I'm like, all right, hold on a second. This is where it got Barbarella. I was like, hang on. He's like hearing that weird sound, and they're all like, what the fuck? And I'm just like, he's like, oh, it's Atlantis. And I'm like, it's a fucking bubble. I'm like, what is happening here? It's a damn spaceship coming out of the fucking water. This is not Atlantis, guys. All right. Oh, yes, it is. I'm just like, holy, oh, okay, here we go. And, you know, we got Wash, who's very typical on his own little attitude. He's not Washington, I understand. You can't call him that. He's Wash. Yeah, he's Muhammad, and then he's Wash. Right? It's like, I'm not Washington, I'm Muhammad. Okay, what's up, Wash? I'm like, what is going on, man? Like, and I've got one question and one question only, and I swear to God, I need a real answer for this, okay?
I'm getting ready.
Know what I'm gonna ask? You do know what I'm gonna ask, right? A fucking spinach dinner? Who the fuck on life wants a spinach dinner? Yo, I would fuck a dude up if he was like, let's go for that spinach dinner. I'm like, kick your ass right the fuck now. After all this shit, and you're gonna take me to a spinach. I would rather suck on the fucking front part of a 45 before you give me a spinach dinner. What? I'm like, okay. Somehow, I don't know how he survived. That was his death point right there. Because any other woman would have beat his ass into the ground. A spinach dinner. Oh, fuck anyway.
Okay, dating
Do I
tips
look
for
like
Tina.
a fucking rabbit? Don't ever come to me and I'll take you out for a spinach. I'll knock you the fuck out. All right, we're done.
Yeah, guys, don't ask Tina out for a spinach dinner date. She will not like it.
But I know this place that does
Not
a ravioli that's just terrific. Just saying. I mean, it might happen. Was that round 1.5? Because
yeah.
We don't do halves here.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. You know,
Jeff is out of here for mentioning halves. No,
oh,
I'm kidding.
I
threw you out of whack, but we'll continue from there. Go ahead.
I didn't like this film at first, but there's a reason for that. But then as I was watching Amsterdamned, I kept thinking about this film. I was like, gee, that was really good. That was a lot better than I thought when I was watching it. And then I just went and looked at it again. I liked it so much. And this is probably second round stuff, but when I first started watching it, I don't like ads. So I got it on Amazon Prime. And during that opening heist and everything, there's like this little guy talking from the third or fifth row behind me. And I can't, what the heck? And then he says, and we were stunting and I realized bleeding into the track was Tony King's commentary track.
Wow.
And so then I just went and watched it for free with the ads. And so that was part of a problem. But I thought, well, if he's around to do a commentary track. Oh, by the way, Nathaniel, I loved your little quip last time. It's a period film. And I realize now that refers to the fact that the title says Miami 1993, I think 94, but the film's copyright in 1983. And I thought, did the distributor do this to make it seem newer? I mean, what's going on here? And then I realized it's like 1984. 2001. Humanity has lived past the date of the film, but we can now go look back and see what they thought it was like in the future. It was very interesting. But if we're just taking people that are alive now and doing commentary track, or should we save this for later, MC?
No, it's fine.
I was riveted the second Dr. Collins came on the screen, played by the irrepressible and totally charming Joya Scala. And
why don't
I thought,
actually? Why don't
wait? I'll talk about her later. I'll talk about her later. But for everything to be done so poorly and low budget, and yet Deodato got the things right that you need to have for you to think, hey, I really like this movie. I think that's a tribute to him. And I'll leave it at that.
Okay, Jake.
Yeah, so I'm having a crazy week this week. I didn't get all the way through this one, but I got about halfway through it, and just from that, I can tell you this is one of the most bizarre movies I've ever seen. Like, I totally see why you paired this with Amsterdamned. Like, I see it. I see the connection, but it's, man, it's out there. It's very, very weird, very bizarre, but I was having a fun time with it. I was like, this is insane. So this was the same guy that did Cannibal Holocaust. Is that what you were saying? That's nuts. Okay, wow. I almost I want to restart it now and watch the whole thing with that in mind. I don't know. There's a lot more to think about, I think, now with that. Yeah, this one's nuts. Like bikers, Atlantis, random kills. You're like, what's going on? Science fiction stuff just out of nowhere. It's a very interesting movie. Look at that. I mean, how do you see that screen grab and you're just like, I have to see this movie now.
Right.
It's like I said, very bizarre. I totally, now that I have the context that this was made with like many drugs in the background, it makes a lot more sense. I once again, spinach and drugs, a good mixture, I gotta go back. I gotta just start this one over. Like I learned too many things where I'm like, I need to go back with all that in context. So no, this is a really interesting film. Definitely not for everybody, but check it out if you're just looking. You want to get like something weird and just so out there. Maybe smoke a little grass. I don't know. Listen.
Or a lot.
Or a lot of grass, Go for it.
Amazing. Okay, Skylar.
Well, I definitely think Ruggero Deodato was tripping some way because spinach dinners, bikers, and then he gets Lion-O from the TV series Thundercats to be one of the stars of the films.
I didn't realize that. That's right.
Well, I didn't realize till the second time, and I heard his voice, and I was like, "OMG, that's Lion-O from the Thundercats." I was like, "Wow."
Wow.
But I had to watch it twice to understand what the heck I was watching. I just didn't get the concept of first time rounds. But now I understand why Nathaniel's picked these two movies, because they do have similarities between them. But that scene, it's mind-blowing at the end. You should have mixed that with Cannibal Holocaust and the washing machine all together.
Oh yeah.
And there's a movie for you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I forgot he did the washing machine.
Damn.
That's the best a killer washing machine.
Yep.
Sorry.
Oh, and after this, he did the
And
Barbarians.
then that's for spinach. I'd definitely give them a right hook as well.
Did you move me here to put me at the end, or because I was looking up at Tina? Was that?
No. It's because I closed your screen and it just pops you there for some reason. But
Decided you should.
it's all right. Tina, I'm sorry.
hi, how you doing? Skyla, is that it? Anything else you want to open with? Is that it?
I'm just gonna leave it at that for now because it just
Yeah.
Mine was effing blown with that.
All right. I am not a Deodato fan. Most of the things I've watched from him, I have not liked. I don't. I don't. I usually watch movies sober. I think cinema should be appreciated sober. If you need mind altering substances, then the movie means that it needs something. And I want to go as sober as possible to enjoy the movie. Severin released this, and that's what put it on my radar. I was like, all right, I'm gonna give it a go. I'll watch it. A friend of mine bought it. He brought it over. We watched it, and my first impression was, this is a piece of shit. This is so garbage. And like, this is just typical Deodato, like nonsense. It's none of it connected with me, and I wrote it off. And then Nathaniel says, "Hey, let's watch it." And I go, "All right, I'll rewatch it. I'll give it another chance." And I'll tell you what, the movie fucking won me over. It blew my mind. I'm like, I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, why do I like this? What's happening to me right now? I really liked it. It's here's the thing with this movie. You either, and I think maybe I was approaching it a little too critically. I think this is one of those movies where you kind of just have to drink the Kool-Aid and go with it. Yeah. And this time I went with it, and I said, all right, fine. Escape from New York, Assault on Precinct 13, Road Warrior. It's a little bit of everything. Yeah, I'm like, fine, okay, let's go. Well, and then I fucking loved it, and now I'm thinking of all the movies I kind of shit on in the past. I'm like, damn, I wonder if I would rewatch it if I would have a different impression. But I don't know what it was. Maybe it's like, I think it's Nathaniel. Nathaniel, if you ever hear a commentary track that he's on, he makes anything sound amazing. Sometimes I'll watch a movie that him and Troy are on. I'm like, it didn't connect to me. And then I'll listen to the commentary track. And I'm like, oh shit, they're right. This was good. Holy crap. So maybe you just rubbed off on me in terms of just like, your appreciation of the movie. But a second rewatch of this movie really improved the quality of it. It's still nonsensical, but it in a way it also kind of makes sense if you kind of just say, all right, it's an Italian sci-fi action movie. It plays by its own rules. So you kind of just go, all right, yeah, fine, great. The people from Atlantis look like this. There's makeup in Atlantis. There's laser guns and old, 1950s cars. Sure, that's in Atlantis. I'll believe it. And if you allow yourself to embrace that, then this is an absolute fucking hoot of a movie, and I'm very glad to have rediscovered it. Those are my opening thoughts. Turn it over to Nathaniel for round twos.
Well, I'm very glad you changed your mind. I don't know too many other Deodatas are going to be a 180 for you, but maybe
probably not many. No.
Yeah, the ones don't involve animals getting hurt, because that sucks.
Yeah.
But again, I think this movie's just so much fun. It's almost like if it weren't for the gore, like I would love to show this to little kids, because it has that kind of logic to it where it's just like, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened. It's like it doesn't stop. It's just nonstop insanity. It feels like a little kid just telling the story. And it's just so much fun. Also, this one has a theme song too. There's a disc called Black Inferno that they play like about 500 times, which is just great. It's just. I think this movie is a controlled substance. You don't have to be stoned. This movie just messes with your head anyway. Like I said, it starts off just out of the gate. There's just like nonstop action, and even though, like I said, it changes genres like about 20 times. It doesn't really matter, because it's just so interesting, and it never really stops to catch its breath all the way to the end. I just love this one. It's just so goofy and just adorable.
Adorable indeed. What are your ratings? What would you give this sucker?
This movie kind of defies rating. I don't. It's almost like off to the side, just being like, I dare you to give me a number. It's like it's not good, but it's like a 3.5 or maybe. But it could be a 5 if you're in the right state of mind, or it could be a 1 like it was the first time you saw it.
Right.
Sure, 3.5, I guess.
3.5. Okay. Tina, final thoughts and rating.
All right. Well, it is definitely all over the place. I'm like, what? Yeah, I didn't know that people in Atlantis lived in a bubble that went off in a ship. That somehow you got caught in like another world and then wound up in a helicopter. That's interesting. Naked, by the way. I caught that. I was like, what? He was all like, I don't know. Can we just get somewhere? Like, oh, all right. But it was fun. I will say that. Is it a good movie? Rate a good movie. Like, how many shots did you take? You know? All right. So it's entertaining. It is very entertaining. That I will give you. It is a roller coaster. That I will give you. The spinach dinner is still killing me. Yeah, there you go. Fucking spinach dinner. My mother. Why? Why is spinach dinner? Okay, I gotta say it's a 3. I gotta say it's a 3.
It might be all they had on the set at the moment.
Maybe.
Bunch of leaves. That's all they had.
No, I mean they could have had space food for all I know. We got ships coming out of the water. I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna say it's a 3. And yeah, spinach dinner killed me, man. I don't know. I gotta talk to that guy.
I gotta ask. So has anybody else here seen the movie Absurd? It's a Joe D'Amato slasher movie.
Yeah.
Because someday we'll do that one, but that has an even weirder dinner choice. I'm not going to ruin what it is, but they have a Super Bowl party, and what they do for dinner is like the weirdest thing I've ever seen in an Italian movie. But I'm not going to ruin it for Tina.
Oh yes,
wrong with Italian people.
I remember that.
What is happening, man? What is wrong with the food choices?
I like Absurd better than Grim Reaper. Actually, I think it's more entertaining. Honestly.
I'm going to spring that one on you at some point down the road. We'll talk about that's another dinner for another day.
Oh boy!
Oh, we'll do this during Thanksgiving. I'll be like, oh, brilliant,
amazing. I will say, Tina, look, here's my wedding ring.
Yeah.
I proposed to my wife at a spinach dinner. It was a beautiful banquet of different spinaches. It works. I'm sorry, it works.
Your jaw heal after that week? Heal?
Yeah, from all the kisses I got. Like spinach,
okay,
oh my god.
Oh, yeah, you got knocked out and then she felt bad. I got you. She's like, I love you, honey. Don't ever do that again.
I actually can't eat spinach. Spinach gives me kidney stones, actually, so yeah.
You see?
No, it's not good for you. It's not good for you. Popeye is lying to people.
He is. You fucking spinach dinner. You better have fucking big guns, man. Better fucking protect yourself from what's coming at you. Fucking spinach dinner, man.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Spinach really set you off.
Yeah, a spinach dinner? What? And the fact that a girl is asking for this. Oh my God, this woman should be shot. All right. I'm giving it a 3. I'm giving her a 1.
You know,
right, since we're switched, we'll go with Jake. Go ahead.
I gotta say, I gotta give this one another chance, knowing it's the Cannibal Holocaust guy. So I'll go back. I'm gonna go back and do this one more sober this time. But it's very odd. It's very all over the place. I gotta see what it amounts to before I can really rate this. I think because like right now I'm like I don't know how I feel about this, but I don't know where I haven't seen the climax. I haven't seen the end of this film. It's not fair. You know what I mean? It's not fair to give it a rating yet. But I'm right now where I'm at with it is like this is so odd and strange. I want to see some of it kind of come together a little bit, and I don't know. Maybe that's not the film for something like this, but I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm interested so far. I'm definitely interested. I'm not like the worst thing a film can be is boring in my opinion, and this is anything but that. So I'm enjoying it so far. I got to see what it amounts to, but so far I'm in a spot with it. But we'll see. We'll see down the line. I'll get back to you, Nathaniel.
We haven't gotten to the lasers yet. Okay.
Yes,
right.
Exactly.
Got it.
I honestly, I think the whole third act is the weirdest part of the movie.
Even better,
especially when we get to the helicopter scene at at the very end, you're like, wait, what? How did that happen? But I'll talk about it later. All right, very good. So, Killjoy Jake is at a half for this movie.
You know it, man. You know it.
I had a feeling. Skyla,
Dinner.
final thoughts and ratings.
I just howled with laughter as well. Like throughout the movie, I was like, "What was I watching?" But I will say this: I do have a little soft spot for Michelle Sovey. I do like Michelle Sovey. So his acting's not as bad in this movie. I think you needed him in it because it made it a little bit better, in my opinion. But then you've got Lionel, who played the doctor with the yellow shirt and the glasses. So I was like, oh, this is not bad. When I watched it the second time, I started to understand a little bit more about the movie. Because the first time I was like, I am not getting into this whatsoever. But you do understand a little bit, yeah. There he is there with the yellow, like the cream yellow shirt. That's he plays the voice of Lionel. So, but other than that, towards the end, that's when it started getting exciting. It's like the fighting scenes where he's in the they're in the yellow. It's like a yellow bus. No, not a yellow bus, a red bus. What am I like to do? A red bus going along, just being chased by all these marauders, and then how the lead actor just jumped onto the helicopter. It was crazy. Yeah, he's the one on the right.
Yeah.
So he jumped on that, like he managed to get him on the helicopter, and then they went to Atlantis. I did like that scene. And then towards the ending, where they found out what Michelle Sovey was up to, he was up to no good. He does in most of his films that he started. So I will give my rating a 2 for that.
A 2.
I have to, especially with spinning. But I will say this is one of Deodato's better movies, if that makes sense. Than
It
Cannibal
does, yeah.
Holocaust and the Wash Machine, because even the Wash Machine doesn't make sense.
No, yeah.
This makes a bit more sense, and that's why I'm giving it a 2.
That's fair. Batman is in the chat, and he looks like he gives you a 2. He's giving you, he's giving you one of those. That's fantastic. All right, Jeffrey, what do you got?
Well, hold on a second. Jake said, as long as the movie isn't boring, and I think that's an important point about this film. To me, there wasn't a moment that was boring, but when I first saw it, I had a horrible time. The Italian, especially, the dubbing was horrible. Maybe it was done here in Georgia or Florida or someplace, but they were their own actors saying their own lines, and they couldn't balance the dubbing and everything. And from an Italian film, I expect so much more. And when they shoot, like a bad guy will come up in front of them and they'll just shoot and the guy's dead. They never got hit at the beginning except a couple of times, and it was unbelievable. And I was just saying, this is so horrible. But again, I say that somehow with all and the lens, there was schmutz on the lens for the B camera, and every time they would cut to an outside shot or even in the lab, it's just going, and it just really bothered me that you could be so careless. But yet somehow, after seeing the movie, I kept thinking about it, and I just kept thinking, what a tribute to this guy. Washing machine, Cannibal Holocaust aside, he knew just what pieces to get right to make you really enjoy the movie and not be bored. I thought that those motor punks or whatever, I thought that was Atlantis, and they were defending, I really don't know what was going on. I thought they were defending Atlantis, and I made up this story where when they went down under the water, they only had the Mad Max DVD and they created like this cult and this whole religion about it and everything, and that's what that was. But then they were riding around the suburbs, killing people living in a house that were going out to dinner. I don't even understand what that was about. The dubbing even had the thing where they say, "Hey, we need this line. Come get," and they bring one of the actors over to do the line, and they got that, "Hey, boss," and the actual line was, "I could do a cup with a cup of coffee," it's just so obvious. I did dubbing in Hong Kong for a while, in the mid '90s, so I'm very sensitive to dubbing. But the one thing I gotta say is it introduced me to this actress playing Dr. Kathy Rollins, and it was like a revelation to me. And she's still alive. I think she's 62. There's no tracks on about, she's not doing a commentary there. That's her. But I dug up some photos of her. Do you have the shot of her? And yes, there she is in the Italian penthouse. Gioia Scola. What a choice. She was so good every time she. Those are the only two you got. The others were X-rated.
Yeah, I can't show. You sent me a lot of titty pics, so I had to be careful what to show on YouTube.
Yeah, I understand. I'm used to the Japanese film, so I don't really can tell all the time. But she was just a revelation to me, and I'll always remember Dr. Kathy Rollins giving of herself to be a medium for the Atlanteans, and somehow I don't know how that happened, and then somehow giving it up to go back in the helicopter. I don't know how any of that happened, but I enjoyed watching it all. And I would give this 1 for the dubbing, but I would give it and the dirty camera lens, but I would give it a 4.
Great. Yeah, that ending is probably, I think, the worst part of the movie, where we see her here. She somehow becomes a spokesperson for the Atlanteans somehow. And then the guys come to rescue her. They're like, "Oh, everything's collapsing. Fuck it, let's go." And they abandon her. They're not going to rescue her at all. Sorry, Jake, we're going to spill the beans here. But don't worry. It's not
it's good. I don't. Yeah, no, I don't care. Go nuts.
You can't ruin a movie like that.
Yeah, right.
Maybe somebody can explain it better.
You can explain this to me, but I feel like I still have to see it to truly experience it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
For sure. So they abandon, like, fuck it, we can't save her, we're out. They rush back to the helicopter, and then magically she's okay, and she's there waiting for them, and she's like kissing the sweaty old man's face, and it's like, oh, movie's over. Happy ending. How did that fucking happen? It doesn't matter. This movie's crazy. It's fun. Who cares? Who cares? 4 stars, man. This movie was a blast. Deodato has certainly changed my mind quite a bit. I may have to go revisit a couple of things. But man, tons of fun. And again, it's hard to make an action movie, and it's hard to do a movie where you're, I don't know how safe they were. It looks like live rounds. Explosions are dangerous. There's a lot of stunts in that first half, and the movie it's never boring. There's always something interesting happening. There's always something unique happening. The ending gets a little flimsy, but even then you've got the submarine involved and the rescue attempt, and Michaela Suave is a bad guy. Oh, I love all those little elements. The movie certainly doesn't let you down, and there may not be a lot of logic to it, but again, who cares? Who cares?
That's right. Who cares? Point of order.
I love her.
I saw a gunshot hit somebody, and then a little while later, that same gunshot hitting somebody from another angle was used, and I'm sure there's more of them. I'll go looking for it sometime. But like you said, I don't care. I didn't care. It was just so well put together in that regard. I don't know what the element was that makes it enjoyable, but whatever it was, he did it from beginning to end.
I think, and I don't know. And first of all, it takes place in my hometown. I grew up in Miami, so this was like basically like being like that's exactly how Miami was back in the day, 100%. Like these guys were all over the place. I used to see these guys, when I went to school, these guys would drive past me. I'm like, shit, are those Atlanteans? I don't know what's going on.
I love the time travel element of the entire film. It's made in '83 and it's '94,
right.
and now we're here in 2023.
It's pretty amazing. So it was nice to go back home for a little bit with Deodato in charge, and so that element was fun. And question for the ladies of the panel: if I were single, do you think I could invite her to a spinach dinner? Do you think she would say yes if I said, come with me to spinach paradise?
Absolutely not. Nope. No way. No,
Nathaniel, let's
your
pool
jaw's
our money.
still intact, right?
Let's go to Italy and find her and record a commentary track. I don't know what she looks like at 62, but it might be very good.
Yeah. Or worst case, there's always Zoom.
Out on a spinach dinner.
I like exploring.
Fuck your shit up.
Spinach dinner, man. You know what? We should start a cookbook for this review show. We've got hard-boiled eggs, spinach dinner. It's gonna be great. I think it's gonna sell really well.
It would be the worst cookbook on the planet. Absolutely.
It's an inside joke, but Jake, the first episode we watched a movie where there was a cop who would go to crime scenes and he would just take a hard-boiled egg out of his pocket and start peeling it on the crime scene while he's talking to the suspects. And we're like, what is this fucking guy doing? He's contaminating the crime scene because he fucking needs eggs every 5 seconds.
It's called A Murder in Venice. There was no murder.
Gore in Venice.
They didn't show one fucking thing in Venice.
and more canals.
Gore in Venice.
More canals, more eggs.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's everything you need. Everything you need in a movie right there.
Yeah.
Everything.
Don't be in the same room with this guy. Not at all.
He farts quite a bit. Katie, what is up? Popping the popcorn in the chat. What is up? How are you? Adam, how are you, buddy? I hope you are well. Wow. Well, holy crabs. That's amazing. We two very interesting movies. I think we all for the most part generally really enjoyed ourselves this time. Thank you, Nathaniel.
In a poorly in a sloppily made movie. How's that possible? It couldn't have been sloppily made. I don't know what this guy does.
The magic
sloppy does not rule out fun.
Well, that's right. That's right.
Nathaniel, how do you feel your movies fared this round?
I enjoyed hearing everybody. Like I said, these are movies that really depend on your mood, and I loved hearing everybody's comments about it. Again, I thought they're two really good party movies, so I was really curious to hear what you thought, and you guys all delivered. So thank you.
Thank you for allowing me to revisit that movie, because now it's I think I'm gonna actually have to buy it from Severin and have my own copy and show people. You guys have never seen the real Atlantis movie. Screw that Disney shit. This is Atlantis. This is the real Atlantis.
It's not the real Miami.
Out of the ocean.
They came and left though. I don't.
Cyborgs come out.
And
maybe some cast from. Oh, and there's a spinach dinner. The cast from Mad Max shows up. I mean, hey.
Everybody's in this.
The low budget cast.
Holy shit. All right. Well, that's a wrap on the episode. But next time it's Jeff's turn, and oh man, hold on. Let me. I should load this up so that I can get the movies ready.
Well, let's talk about Miike first.
Yes. Okay.
Whenever we do.
Why
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. Go ahead and tell us what you have planned for us for next time.
Well, I'm sure we've all seen something by Miike from Japan. But few people have seen, and he's great with violence. He's great at taking things and just going farther with it. So are you, MC, though perhaps not as more controlled, it seems. But he's really extreme in every episode. But few people have seen the film Gozu, I apologize to you all. It's 2.5 hours. And with ads, I don't know how long that's going to be, but it's Miike going not just far out with violence, but into the mind of a crazy guy. I really don't know how to explain it. A Yakuza crazy guy is assigned to protect a boss, and he sees a little cute little. Oh, I don't want to talk about that. We'll see it. But he's going after everything, and then the world starts coming at him in a weird way. But it's an exceptional film. I saw it when it no, that's good too. But I saw it when it first came out, and I haven't seen it since then. And so maybe I'll have a change of heart, like I have on all of these, seeing them again. And there's your 2-disc set for you. I think it took 2 discs just to fit the film on. But the film that's the star to me, Noboru Iguchi, who used to work in AV films in Japan, and yet he aspired to. He was big with the tentacle films, and Nathaniel knows what I'm talking about. And
I do too. That's why we're both like.
Yes, and but he wanted to get into the mainstream, and this is a transition film for him. It's called Zombie Ass Toilet of the Dead.
What?
And it's a really good film.
Like this one.
It's our A film. It's our top billed film next week. It's you see, there's your schoolgirl right there, and what is this? 2013, I think, something. 2011, and the actual Japanese title is Zombie Asu. Not the toilet of the dead part, and he makes fun of some of the porn stuff he's had to direct, but it's a science fiction film, a lot of action, a lot of the Iguchi troupe, he uses a lot of people in the same movies, and it also stars 2 AV actresses that he's worked with, and to talk about strange meals, it involves a parasite that the model eats to lose weight. So I'll leave it at that.
Looks like a masterpiece.
I mean,
well, the first outhouse scene is we probably can't show it, but
no. Oh, it rivals. I think it absolutely rivals Dawn of the Dead as one of the great zombie films ever made.
I would say so. It's a different kind of zombie, but yeah. And both films, both directors, just like I like to think I do, and just like Jose does, we just keep going to the logical next step, even if it starts going, outside of the film frame. We just outside our experience and what makes sense. But because it's organic, it does make sense. It's a very understandable film. None of the problems we had with Atlantis. So.
No, this is probably one of the most logical movies ever made. Zombie Ass Toilet of the Dead is completely.
It says it all in the title.
Says it all.
What was that, Skylar?
No, that's what you call a title of a movie.
Yeah.
I don't know why this film hasn't been shown more. People are less aware of it. I don't know. It's a very funny. It's a very funny film. He's comedy.
I mean,
because of the title.
Zombie Ass Toilet of the Dead. Yeah, it might make somebody not want to watch it. I don't know.
You might. We almost.
I don't know.
We almost saw Dead Sushi with it, which is a funny title because the sushi isn't dead, but that's his other movie. He made it after Zombie Ass, and it's Noboru Iguchi.
No, I know what his name is. I'm just looking for the
yeah. He's probably a very troubled man, but we don't have to concern ourselves with that.
No,
oh my God! I mean,
Toilet of the Dead.
I feel most Asian cinema comes from troubled filmmakers. I can't imagine like, oh, that was a pretty normal film. Like
That's good. That's a good point.
you know, like, oh, that was pretty subpar, just a generic kind of movie. Nope, most of the shit I'm is pretty
No.
fucking insane.
I don't think they have
Nathaniel.
anything normal.
No. Nathaniel, are you familiar with these movies?
I am.
Oh, you've seen them?
I still have scars from Gozu. Actually, I hope you all know what you're in for, and it's been a long
Oh,
time.
God.
Oh, how do I
Do you
feel
think-
like I'm gonna love this?
Do you think it's too long for us to attack with another movie? Maybe we should just look at a YouTube video.
I don't think the length is the issue.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, I see your point. I understand what you're saying.
I'm really
Oh,
curious
my
what your reaction, though.
Yeah. It's the milk scene that really gets me.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Another food product in our films.
You be quiet. Don't say anymore. Don't spoil it.
I'm not going to say
Spoil
anymore.
it. Don't spoil
The
it.
milk.
Iguchi made Robo Geisha, and that's close to my heart because I made Robo Chick, and it was a hit in Japan, and I feel that he was inspired by the title, though I didn't come up with the title or the idea for the film, so I'm not concerned at all. But his is a much better movie.
I agree. I think Japan stole all your ideas, Jeff.
It's
unfortunate.
I think it's the other way around. But my titles, well, no, they didn't steal it. I didn't come up with it. So okay, Elves was a hit. It was a huge hit in Japan. I did 2 interviews on Radio Tokyo, and what was the other one? Nagasaki, I guess.
Wow.
And they translated it later. They recorded me, and then I don't know what I sound like in Japan, but okay.
I got a podcast in Japan coming up.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
I can preview it for you and tell you if they'll like it.
Terrific.
That's amazing. All right. Well, I'm trepidatious, but kind of excited for next episode. Goes to zombie ass toilet of the dead. Holy Moses! I already see Jake Young. Please don't invite me back.
Well, the important thing is the schoolgirl to me, but that's
Of course.
Skylar loves these. So I know Skylar's in. All right.
I'm in if you want me to come back. I'm in because I love these films. Mike is the
Amazing.
man.
yes, very
I've
good.
seen both the films.
Mike is an inspiration. I mean, I don't know how the hell he's so prolific. There's no way somebody can make like 12 movies a year. That's insane.
Yeah. That's at least a couple a year.
What
Nuts,
is it?
man.
Especially Visitor Q.
Oh yeah, that's a weird one.
Yeah.
Gosh, I didn't like the Dead or Alive movies. I think those went a little far. At least the first. I only watched the first one. I'm like, I think I'm good. I don't think I need to go any further with this franchise.
But then they came out with the second one.
There's like, I thought there was 3. Well, maybe there's.
Oh, there, yeah.
4.
Is there?
I don't
Oh, look at
remember.
that.
Nathaniel, how many are there? You know, you're the expert.
3, right?
He's the guy.
There's
There is
3.
three.
Okay.
Did he do the third one?
Yeah.
Oh, why not?
Why not? He's got time. He's got nothing but time. Apparently. All right, let's wrap up episode 7. This has been an explosive episode. I love our special guests joining us and sharing their thoughts on this insanity. We're gonna go around and talk about what we've got coming up. Nathaniel, why don't you kick us off, and then we'll head Tina's way.
Sorry,
What do you
what?
want to plug?
Oh,
What do you want to
what?
plug?
He's like, what?
My latest book is out at bookstores. It's The Fright Best Guide to Vampire Movies. You can get it from all American book dealers right now. Highly recommend it.
Of course you would.
Keep recording commentaries left and right. I'm about to do a bunch of TV episode commentaries, my first ever, which is going to be interesting with Troy starting this weekend. So you'll probably hear that announced next week.
Awesome. That's exciting. And I know you can't really like talk about anything coming up, But do you know? Are you involved with any of the mid-year stuff coming from Severin or Vinegar Syndrome or Era?
Mm.
I guess.
I know what most of the Vinegar Syndromes are, but I'm only involved in one of them. I know of.
Gotcha. Okay. So I'll PayPal you some money, and then we'll talk.
Okay. I'll say it to you and pick it later on the phone.
There you go. There you go. All right, Tina, what do you got coming up?
Okay, so I'm shooting a short called Picture Box. So we just shot some stuff this past weekend, and I'm probably gonna finish up throughout the month. Be done with that, and that's going into 2 film festivals, and then I'm gonna be leaving in May to shoot. Got casted for a movie called Side Effects May Vary, so that's gonna be fun. And then March 29th, I believe that's a Wednesday, I do that podcast in Japan, the Japanese podcast. So there you go. And I'm still working on Bughouse, and then I'll be working on my TV show Urban X. So, I'll check it out. There you go. Bingo.
Amazing. And hopefully, you and I will be staring at a
Did
I
lose you? I
soon.
lost you. Hang on. All right, I have you now.
Hey,
Yeah.
there you go.
Technical difficulties. Hello.
It's all good. It plagues you for some reason. I don't know.
I don't know why.
But yeah, hopefully you and I will be working on a project in May as well. So we'll
That's
update
right.
as soon as I still don't have the script, by the way. I'm still waiting on that. But hopefully by the end of the week I should have it. So we'll see what we'll get with it.
All right, we'll talk in between then.
Absolutely. Killjoy Jake, my man, what do you got going on over on your killer channel?
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, well, check out the YouTube channel. I'm covering a bunch of upcoming horror movies. I'm really excited for just a bunch of new stuff that's coming out. Like, you can see Evil Dead Rise, Saw X, a bunch of little things. I don't know. I'm really excited for all that. So if you're interested, come on over, subscribe. It's a good time all the time. I'm working on a feature too, but I can't really say too much about it. But I'm very excited for it.
That's great. And you've got a second channel, right? Movie Smoothie.
Yeah, I just started that up. I'm talking about like adult animated shows and stuff over there, and that seems to be working out. So yeah, it's fun.
All right, if you want to listen to Jake talk about pornographic cartoons, go.
That's what I do, man. That's
yeah. No, it's stuff like Rick and Morty and all that stuff, which is it's great. That's it's a lot of fun. I've actually lost touch with Rick and Morty, but I got to go back to it. All that the whole scandal that's been happening with that is like blowing my mind, man. It's kind of like tarnished the whole thing, honestly.
It's pretty awful, man. I'm covering it, and it's just like, the whole thing's it's a disaster, man. Like a total disaster for Adult Swim.
Yeah.
So, but I'll shut up about it.
Ugh, my God. And you and I definitely have to have a Scream 6 spoiler chat at some point.
Yes, we do. Absolutely. I feel like the only person on in the YouTube space that absolutely loves the film. So we gotta go and just BS and basically suck this movie's dick for like 2 whole hours. Like I am so down for that.
There you go. Well, first we have to take it to a spinach dinner, and then.
Yeah, right. Of course, you got to take it out to dinner first. Fancy.
Just as long as the dick is not a dog's dick, we're good. All right.
Well, that's a whole other story. Don't ask, Jake. Don't ask. Oh my God. All right.
I'm never gonna leave my brain pan.
And then in a way we've succeeded at the end of the day. That's a triumph. All right, Jake, thank you so much for joining us, bud.
Of course, man.
Skyla, what do you got going on in your channel? You've just started up and you are racking up the subscribers. What are you doing over there?
Well, April 5th I'm with you and OGP doing a live reviewing more movies.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got that in the works. Thursday, I'm actually going live doing top 10 Thursdays, and it's we do me and a friend of mine, we're doing like a bunch of different lists, and this week is top 10 favorite final girls in a movie. So that's on Thursday. And then that's going to be every Thursday. And then I've got a few little bits in between. But I have something going on April 1st. And it's very, very exciting, but it's nothing to do with YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then we won't ask then unless you want to share.
I'm going
Is
to
it
be
a
wrestling again.
Is a spinach dinner happening?
I'm going to be wrestling in Spain.
Wow. Okay. I was not expecting you to say that.
Well, we want more information on that.
Yeah.
All I can say is I'm going to be a part of a tournament with 8 males and 8 females all around Europe.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
Yeah. And there might
you
be
have-
a title. There might be a
Impressive.
belt coming this way soon. Fingers crossed.
Wow. Do you have a wrestling name? Do you wrestle under like Skyla the Destroyer or something?
No, the Gore Queen.
The Gore Queen. I love it.
Hell yeah. Metal as fuck.
Yeah.
Gory as fuck.
I love it.
Well, it's actually the Gore Queen Skyla Batista. So I take my dad's last name and put it into my name. So it's all good.
Look at it this way. At least you're not, zombie as the toilet queen, because that would, that would be like.
The Toilet Queen.
I've had worse wrestling names back in the day.
That film is very important. That film is very important to me. I wish you wouldn't make dirty jokes about it. Scatological jokes.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a very serious film. Skyla, every time you're on, you have to share a new name. Okay, so next time you have to let us know what other names you've wrestled under, and
I will definitely
keep us in suspense here. Amazing. Go check her out, guys. Jeff, what?
Absolutely.
Work on your tarot. Your tarot.
Yeah, I want to apologize to Skylar. I'm mortified and that I butchered your name, but I've got it, Skyla, and I'm interested in your wrestling too. We'll talk about that. Yes, because I blew it and mentioned it, but Nathaniel and I are on a search for Joya Scola, and we're going to do a commentary track to add to the existing disc. And even though I was half joking a couple times, I've really gotten into the Japanese schoolgirl tarot deck based on the Hodorowski Marseille tarot, and and I it's to the exclusion of my other work that I'm supposed to be doing. I've done these incredible cards, and it's difficult, and it'll take it. Obviously, I looked into everything now that Kashmir was looking into, and I realize it's a lot of work, but I'm committed. So I'll keep you guys posted. I'll bring in some samples next time, maybe.
Oh, please. See, I didn't realize it was a joke. I thought you were 100% serious.
No. I was. Well, my joke. Nobody knows when I'm joking, and that's the key to my humor. Or something. It's like dead sushi. The name isn't right, but the point is, I was doing a joke just for us guys, and then I thought, wait a minute, this is actually a good idea, and I've just gone crazy with that AI. It and I are getting to know each other better and better.
Right.
And in fact,
okay.
It's dinner phase.
Oh, in fact, I was just trying to do another picture of a wibbly pig for my friend, and it made it a Japanese schoolgirl, and I didn't ask for that. It just recognized me. I don't know, but anyway, that's true. That's true. That's not a joke. So it made me stop and question my life. But okay.
I'm questioning my computer. What the fuck, man?
That's amazing. All right, excellent. As for me, I have to pull back on YouTube due to a ton of stuff, family issues. My wife has a full-time job, and now I'm Mr. Mom, so my time is 100% divided. This is an official announcement. I'll make a more a specific announcement tomorrow morning, but Coffee with Chaos is canceled. I just don't have the time and energy to put into a morning show what I wanted to do. I don't have the time for it. But the panel shows will remain. This is something that I love to do. I love getting together with people, and that people would give me the time of day, and their time beyond this to watch these crazy movies and discuss it. So that makes me very happy. So the panel shows will continue, as well as Vinegar Syndrome coverage, Center Severing coverage, all that stuff will continue, but no more morning shows, as it were. Something I'm putting in the chat right now. This.
Well, wait a minute, Nathaniel, Tina, Jake, and Skyla, and I. We can just rotate in the mornings and do it for you.
Everybody's busy. Everybody's busy.
Oh, okay.
People don't need.
I can work.
Something I want to share. Wait, hold on. Why is it not working? Okay, something I want to share with you guys is my new film is finally streaming on Tubi. A Headless Horseman, a film I shot last year. I'm very proud of it, and if you want to check it out for free, it's on Tubi. I'd be very honored if you spent some time with the film. Blood, sweat, and tears went into this, like every movie, really. I'm very happy with it, and it's here for your viewing pleasure on Tubi. Link in the description and in the live chat as well.
Hey, can I ask one more thing? It's to do with Headless, your new movie, right? Do the viewers know that it's out in the UK on DVD?
Oh, and that's another thing. It's actually, in the UK, it got a DVD, which is crazy. We didn't get a DVD in the States, but yeah.
I'm waiting for it to come.
That's amazing. I got to order one because I definitely need a copy of it. So I need to get my hands on one because, of course, they didn't give me one.
I got a Region 3 player, as we recall. Would you sign it for me if I ordered one from England?
Absolutely.
Great Britain.
$50, and it's your perfect signature. Yeah, no, of course, man. No problem.
I'll send my 2 DVDs over when I get them, so you can sign them for me as well.
Sure. I mean, yeah, I absolutely would do that, Skylar. Absolutely.
I've got
Batman
the house as well. Sorry.
Thank you. I remember you got that. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
It looks like Batman liked the movie. He saw it twice. Thank you, Batman.
Nice.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that quite a bit. All right, so that's me, and that's the show. Thank you for joining us on episode 7 of All the Colors of the Dork. Links for Jake and Skyla in the description. Go check them out. Their content kicks ass. Jake continues to impress me with his professionalism and his coverage. He is tireless. He's one of the good ones, so go support him. And Skyla's just starting out. Subscribe to her, or she will wrestle you to death.
Okay, I'm gonna do it right now.
Do it. Do not mess around. And as for the rest of the panel, we'll figure out a time off air to continue the next episode. Thank you for watching, everybody. We love you very much. Let's wave to the folks at home. Wish them the best. And if you're ever in Amsterdam, don't go swimming in that water. It's really fucking dirty. And there's scuba
Stay out of canals. Stay out of canals.
Anybody ever offers you a spinach dinner, kick them in the nuts. Holy shit.
Yeah. Y'all ready for this?